Washington's clear-thinking headquarters. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
Welcome back. It is 7:37. Ham, Neiman. I'm Brian Wilson, and on the line right now from your Fox Business Network, our good friend Stuart Varney. Stuart, by the way, you said you were going to come down here sometime soon. You still coming down this way?
As a matter of fact, I'm sorry to tell you, Brian, I was there yesterday.
Oh, and you didn't come by, did you?
I parachuted in for a quick piece of business and jumped out. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you owe us one because we want you to come visit someday. Hey, listen, I want to get right to this discussion about the Solyndra case, which is, as a journalist who has seen, scandals hit this town, I'm when I saw these emails yesterday that indicated that the OMB was raising flags about the loan to Solyndra, and that they were apparently getting a tremendous amount of pressure from the office of one Rahm Emanuel, from the vice president's office. I began to say, you know what, this is a story that's going to be around for a while. This is a story that has legs. As we say, there is some there. Is that your sense?
Yes. It's not going away, that's for sure. My sense is, I don't know anything about criminality. My sense is that the loans to Solyndra were rushed through against the better judgment of some parts of the executive branch. They were rushed through for political reasons when a major donor to the 2008 campaign of President Obama was one of the big private investors to Solyndra. I think the rushing through against better judgment is the real basis of the financial scandal here. And I might add, Brian, that the AP is reporting this morning that the Energy Department has a lot more money that it's got to give away by September the 30th. So it is rushing through 15 more green energy projects. In other words, it's still doing what got it into so much trouble with Solyndra.
I just want to note that I will make a recycling chute, and I am a way better investment than Solyndra.
I think you are, Mary Catherine, actually. Yes, indeed.
What? They have to spend the money by the end of the month?
Yes. It's been allocated. If it's not spent by September the 30th, I believe it just goes away. So you've got to get on with it.
Could it just go back into the Treasury? I mean...
there is no Treasury. There's no
I don't know. I honestly don't know. The bottom line here, though, is that this is more green energy projects which are being rushed into the hopper, and who knows what further Solyndras will appear a few months or years down the road. And, I've seen the Washington Post this morning. Right-hand column, front page. Effort to create green jobs lags. $38 billion worth of loan guarantees offered, only 3,545 new jobs created. That's terrible. That's pathetic.
That sounds like a lot of money per job.
Well, even if all the jobs created are created under this program, each job will still cost $640,000.
Well, that's almost as bad as what they do in Montgomery County in building homeless shelters for $4 million that house 12 people. It's just not good, effective use of the taxpayers' money.
Well, it's can the government do things efficiently? Does the government spend money, our money, efficiently and get real results? My answer is no, flat out, it does not.
All right, you have this Solyndra story that, as you mentioned, is in the Washington Post, front page story. ABC News has been leading with it the last couple of days. It's starting to get the attention of Americans. You throw in what's going on with Boeing in South Carolina, even Gibson guitars, and the president's out there saying, hey, I want to create jobs. American people are starting to wake up, or maybe the media is starting to wake up to, hey, is this really a pro-business, pro-growth administration that we have going?
Has it ever been considered a pro-business administration? Frankly, I really don't think it has. I've got a telling poll for you this morning from the Field organization, which generally leans to the left, a little bit at least. In California, the president's approval rating is down to 46%. It was as high as 54% just in June. So it's taken a precipitous fall. And remember, this is California. I mean, is this not the bluest of blue states? The state that's most assuredly in the president's column, and his approval rating is down to 46%? Surely that is a warning signal for the entire administration and his re-election campaign.
Stuart, could I get an update from you on the euro? I try to keep up, and I just can't figure out what's going on and when it might wash up on our shores, so help me out.
It's been washing up on our shores in a strange way for months now. I'm going to be dramatic here and say I think that the euro cannot continue in its present structure. Greece is totally broke. It's borrowed up a storm, it cannot repay, and the Germans are unwilling to bail them out. Now, at some point, crunch time arrives, and they default on their loans. At which point, do they stay in the euro or not? I have to say they cannot stay in the euro. I cannot see how the euro can continue as it is. Now, it washes up on our shores in a strange kind of way, because there's all this anxiety over there, and there's hot money, very nervous money. What do they do with it? Do they put it into euros? No. They put it into U.S. dollars. How do you buy dollars? Well, you buy America's downgraded debt. So the interest on our debt has gone down to historically low levels. That's how the euro's problems are washing up on America's shores. It's a strange thing, very strange.
All right, if Greece does default, then you're obviously, as you mentioned, that there are going to be banks in Europe, especially holding the bag when it comes to their debt. What happens to those banks? Is there any concern that some of those banks may just completely fail?
Yes, but I think the Germans would step in at that point to recapitalize German banks, and the French would try to do the same with theirs. So, although they will not directly bail out the Greeks, I think they would. I think they'd be forced to bail out their own banks, and that, I think, is something they would do. Now, who would bail out the American banks who have a relationship with European banks and would lose something, I don't know how much, if a European bank was threatened like this? I don't know who would help the American banks, but they've suffered badly on the stock market recently. Their stock price is way, way down.
All right, Stuart, always good to have you on the program. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Stuart Varney from the Vox Business Channel here on 630 WMAL.